YouTube, how you doing? Welcome to one more tutorial. And today's tutorial is a bit different. We're not gonna build anything, but we are going to look into regex, regular expressions. So before I continue, I would like to ask you guys, please subscribe, hit that ring bell so that every time I release a new video, you get a notification on the go. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Watch my other tutorials in the description section below, and also share the video, and let's get into it. So regular expression is really an exciting topic, and regular expression, aka regex, is a sequence of characters that define a search pattern. All right, it's used to search some patterns within the string, or you'll see it, which is useful. It's more than just the normal search where you hit the control F, on the browser window, or command F. So regular expression is not a programming language. All right, I also thought it was the first time I heard about it, and I saw how it was written. Yeah, I thought it was programming language, but it's not. And we are going to look over quantifiers, group, range, and anchors, and many more. So I have this window. This is VS Code. All of these are called characters, classes. The dot indicates or specifies or any character except a new line. Now the backslash WD and S, they are for word, digits, and white space. Now the white space selects the tabs and new line as well. So the capital letter WD and S, they are the negation of the previous one, which is WD and S as well. So anything that you see it's a capital, it's a negation of the smaller or lowercase. If digits matched by small letter D, the capital D is anything that it's not a digit. All right. Now this instance here, it's nothing more than a set of characters that match A, B, or C. All right. Now the square brackets are used to specify character set that should match. This symbol, well, I don't know what the name of the symbol is, but it's used to negate this set of characters that within the set, the square brackets. This is used to also specify a range, so A through G. All right, it matches any character between A to G. Now the backslash B is for word boundary, and the capital B is the negation of B, which is word boundary. Now this indicates the beginning of the string, but if you check, there's a similarity here. It's also used within the square brackets and before any character, which is a negation of something that is not this A, B, or C. All right, so it gets a little bit confusing, but we'll see this in as we go. Now the dollar sign indicates the end of a string. The brackets are used to specify match of any characters, and this also we saw previously. Now either or is used to when you have, for instance, match, do you want to match A, B, or C. All right, so you would use this symbol, and the brackets are used to specify groups. Quantifiers are used to specify how many times a pattern should repeat. The asterisk is to matches 0 or more. The plus sign matches 1 or more. The curly braces and the number inside, it specifies exact number. The question mark is used for optional, for some things. Let's say you wanna, in email addresses, maybe it's a dot, one is a dash, so you wanna put those optional because one might not have a dash between two words. And if you want to specify range, you specify it this way. So let's get into it. I have this random thing, so this is basically what we are going through. Let's start. Let me just close this. I can just pull this by pressing command F. I can do a normal search, which is like AB. it matches anything, but this is not what we want. We want to enable regular expressions here. We saw for word boundary, for word characters, we use \w. So right, so we are matching word characters, nothing like special characters. You know, if you see the plus sign is left out, the column as well as the dash and forward slashes. If you want to match anything that's not a word character, we do capital D, which is a negation of the smaller capital W, I mean, which is negation of the smaller of lowercase w. So we are matching tabs, we are matching spaces between words and anything else. If you want to match digits, we only matching digits 0 to 9. There it is, we're matching digits. If we want anything that's not digit, we do capital D. So we're matching words, but we match words and spaces and special characters as well. If you want, for instance, the range, we want to match any number between 0 to 5. So we are matching the numbers, any digits between 0 to 5, but we are not matching 8, we are not matching 6, and we are not matching 9. If you want 0 to 9, then we'll see we're matching anything that's 0 to 9 through 9. The same we can do as well for letters A to D. We're matching only A to D, but not N, O, or L, but we're A to Z, then we're matching everything. All right. Now, sometimes you want to also match uppercase letters. So you just do the same thing, A to Z. So it also matches the uppercase letters. Now let's take an example. Let's say we want to find word boundary for B. This indicates a word boundary. Now we want to find word boundary of H O L. If you see, we are matching this word boundary and this one because this has a word boundary before and this has a word boundary after. But if we want to also match anything that's not word boundary, we can also say capital B and OL. So we are matching the word anything that's not word boundary because we are matching the word boundary and anything that's also not word boundary. If we, for instance, let's say we want to select this. All right, we saw that if we want to get digits, we can use \D. So there are actually 1 2 3 4, I think 6 digits. So 2 3 4 5 6. We want 6 digits, one space, and we want 1 2 3 4 5 digits, another space, and we want 1 2 3 digits. So if you paid attention, we were matching any digits, but as we built the regular expression, then we got to a more defined pattern, which is exactly what we wanted. All right, now I go back, we see the curly braces is used to specify the exact numbers, so we can actually make use of this by doing this. We want 4 digits over here, this 6 digits, and then we want the space, we want 4 digits, it's 5 actually, and we want a space, we want 3 digits. All right, so we can easily target this and by using the calibration and specifying the exact numbers. Now if we want the range, we can say 4. So if we had another one, if I duplicate and this last had 4, so would also match the 4. But if I only had 4, it would only match the last one. If I only had 3, it would only match these 3, but not the last one. But if I If I have 3 and 4, it matches everything. Now let's say we want only the number that has only the group or that has actually 993. So what we can do is we can say we want 4 digits, just 6 digits, and then we want a space. We want 5 digits, and we want something that ends with 993. So we can easily say 993 here, all right, or we can just specify 993 with a dollar sign, which says okay, it must end with 993. So if we move forward, we have checked the range. If we want to search for specific letters, let's say R, all right, we are only searching for letters that are start with A and a smaller R, and as well as E. So we are matching E, we are matching A, we are matching. But if we want to group, which means they must be together, so we are only matching this, all right. But if we want to say something that begins, so we are not matching anything because nothing begins with this pattern over here. Now in regular expressions, if you want to specify special characters, you would need to escape them, and then to do that you use the backslash. All right, you want to find, let's say, a dot, so you find a dot. All right, now for others that are not used by regular expressions such as hyphens or columns, you can just specify them and search them, and because they are not used to specify anything in regular expressions itself. Now let's get over to down here. We want to validate this. Let's say this is an hour. Okay, this is an hour, 10 30, 20 33 and whatever seconds, and we can have another pattern here which is with null space. So how can we do this? We can either say something that starts, or we can either say digits, and we want 2 digits, all right, but followed by a hyphen, but and followed by 2 digits as well, and columns and 2 digits as well. So here we have 2 digits. But if you see, one had space and one doesn't have space, so what we can do is we can specify we want the space, but the space should be optional actually, so that, because if I remove the question mark, it only matches the first, let's say, suppose we're having an hour here, it's the first hour, all right, but if I put a question mark, it matches the second one as well. Now we only want a sequence of words for 3 letters, so what we can do is have a word and we can say 3. So now it actually says, okay, get me 2 digits followed by the dash, another 2 digits, then the column, and then another 2 digits, and then white space, or a space should be optional, and give me something that has 3 letters or 3 characters. Going back, for instance, going back, we said that we saw that we can actually use this to specify or. For instance, if we say that this is also a dash, what we can do is coming back to the pattern that we had here, 3, So if you see, it's only matching the first one. All right, it's only matching the first one. Now if we want to get a column or a dash, we can put this within square brackets and we use this sign and we say dash. Now it's also matching the second one. All right, which is pretty cool. So you can use this symbol to say, oh, give me this column or give me the dash. All right, now going forward, let's say we want to validate this number here. Okay, we want to validate this number. What we can do is, we first, some numbers, if you say some numbers are starting with 2 with plus and one doesn't have a plus, and then have 3 digits and then has a space here, this doesn't have a space nowhere. So what we can do, we can say start, and we can group with, so color braces, I mean brackets are used to specify group 244. What we have here is a plus sign. All right, now we want the plus sign to be optional. So what we can do is, if we put a plus sign here, it's going to give us an error because there's nothing to repeat. So what we can actually do is, since a plus sign is a special character, we need to escape it. So we escape the plus sign. The plus sign should be optional. It's actually selecting, matching every line, but if you see, it was only matching one. If I remove the question mark, it's matching every line. Now we want to make a group of 244, and it's matching both. Now there's a space. The space is for \s. Now it's matching the first one. We will also want to match the second one, so you need to make it optional with a question mark. Then there is 3 digits, so what we can do is \d for 3 digits. All right, and then there is a dash. Now if we put a dash, it's going to only match the second one, so I can put it to make optional. There's another 3 digits we need to make, and there's also a dash, so we also make it optional. And then there's another 3 digits, so the same thing we did. So here now we can see that we matched both the second and the first one, which is one of the coolest thing about regular expressions. So we have seen that we can say something that begins with a plus. All right, and then we escape the plus, sign to make it optional, and we build a group of which consists of 244, and then we say it could have a space, which we make it optional, followed by 3 digits, and a dash, which is optional because one has a dash and one might not have a dash. And we continued until we completed our regular expression. Let's see how we can maneuver this. So what we want to do is, we want to select all of these dates. All right, because let's say, for instance, if you're building something and the code or the datetime object returns sometimes with a /, sometimes with a dash, and some other special characters, how would you handle it? We can say a group of 4 digits. All right, it should have 4 digits. Now we selected everything. Now we need to escape. We need to escape, and then we want 1 digit. We want 1 digit. So, but if you say we want 1 digit, one has an hyphen and one has an underscore, how can we do this? All right, well, we can have a set of characters here. There's a /. All right, there's a dash, and there is an underscore. Now this is not doing, because it's not matching what we want. we can just reorder it. We can have the underscore and the dash. All right, the order actually matters. So here we can either use or to say give me one, give me the forward slash or underscore or a dash, or we just have this all of them grouped like that. Then we want a digit. We also want the same pattern, which is a forward slash underscore and dash, and we want 2 digits right after it. Here we are. We have created the regex that actually matches the first sort of date and the second and the third. So just to recap, we had selected 4 digits, and then we have built a bracket, a set of characters that should actually match a forward slash underscore or a dash. Then we had 1 digit, and then we had the same pattern here, which is matching the forward slash underscore or dash, and then we had 2 digits in the end. I'm just going, I think I should have left all of these here so that you guys are, so that you are able to actually see it or use it if you want to practice. Now let's say we want to validate URL are really important. Let's say you build another server and you want to see how you can redirect, how you can do many things, but some URL they come with HTTPS, some of the HTTP, some they come with www, some they don't. How can we do this? First we need something that begins with HTTP, so we can build a group HTTP. We can't say HTTPS because it will only match the first and the last, so we can say HTTP. Now the S should be optional. Now we match in HTTP and HTTPS. We can have a column. We can escape the 2 forward slashes. Now we have www. How can we do this? If we say www and we know question mark is to make it optional, it's only going to match the first 2 because first 2 they have www, but our idea is to match anything that is either with followed by www or just a name or any other word. If you see, this will only apply to the last W. All right, if I go back and I have this, now this is only select, it's selecting the third one as well because it's saying okay, anything after the forward slash, the W should be optional. So the best approach to do this, because we can't have 3 and say optional, we can have a group and make it optional. So now we are matching the second one. What we can do is escape dot, and we want a word of 1 or more. All right, now 1 or more is, it's only matching the second one, but it does not have a dot after W because it does not have a W. So what we can do is actually make this optional. All right, so there's also a dot to be escaped, and we have 1 or more word. Now we are almost done, but this one has .et. How can we do this? The same thing, we can just escape the dot and any word of 1 or more. Now the dot should also be optional so that we're able to also select the last one. So here we are, and we have built a very regex pattern to validate URLs. The last one is validating emails. It's also almost the same. So what we can have is have any word character and we select 1 or more. Now we are actually matching everything, but then we only want to match these 3 here. But one is followed by dot and one is followed by hyphen. or a dash, what we can do is we can escape a dot, make it optional. We can also have a dash. We want to also make it optional. Now coming back to this, there is word as well. So what we can actually do is, instead of having this, we can actually put this in a character set like this. We make it optional. Then we want to escape any word character, and we want to select one or more. Alright, right after that we want the @ sign. Now we're getting more, how can I say, we are getting, so if you see after this we were all over, alright, but then when I got the @ now we are getting specific to a certain thing. Now we want any word of one or more. We also want to escape a dot. Then we also want any word of one or more. Then we want to also escape a dot. We want to make it optional. Then we want any word of one or more. Here we are. We are able to actually select all our 3 email addresses. So this is really cool. So what we have here is, we say we want any word character, alright, we want to select one or more, and then we want a dot or a dash, which is optional. Then after that we want also any word character one or more, followed by an @ sign, followed by any word character one or more, escaping, followed by a dot, and followed by any word character, any word of one or more, and we want to also follow it by a dot. We want to make it optional, and we want any word in the end. So there's something beginning and end. For instance, if we say that we want it to end with a empty space, you see, if we say empty space, it's going to match it. All right. So if you want to say, should, for instance, sometimes you will have emails with space in the beginning and space in the end. So what we can say is, we can begin with empty space, we make it optional. Alright, some have spaces, some don't. For instance, this is selecting, and you can also end with empty space. Let me put empty spaces here, and empty space, we can also say optional. So we are selecting everything. All right, so beginning and beginning with an empty space. Now this is, we can say empty space as beginning, or we can just say empty space. But if we say beginning, we can just say this, beginning with empty space, which is optional, and ending with empty space, which is also optional. So this wraps up this tutorial in regular expressions. I hope you guys follow the tutorial, and please, if you have any comment and questions, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch my other tutorials in the description section below. I'll see you next time. Peace.